What is up, you guys? Thank y'all so much for tuning in. So this week I have the 2018 Hyundai Kona. Big thank you to Hyundai USA for sending me this car for a week. That way I can review it for you guys. If you want to spec out your own Hyundai Kona, you can click the link in my description. It'll take you straight to their configurator for the Kona, and you can design your own Hyundai Kona. This will be my full in-depth review, so of course I will go over the exterior, the interior, all the details, and then at the end I will take it for a test drive. So starting with the paint color, Hyundai sent me this beautiful Pulse Red paint coat. It looks really nice. In direct sunlight it almost looks orange. Now I love the front end of the Hyundai Kona. Definitely falls in line with the rest of Hyundai's design language. I do love the LED strips up top, so they definitely went very Jeep Cherokee with the headlight scheme. So up top you're going to have your LED daytime running lights. Below that you're going to have your regular headlamps, and then of course your blinkers and everything are going to be at the top again, but out to the sides. Now the headlamps themselves, because this is only the SEL trim, they're projector beam headlights, so they work okay. They're not the best. The interior lighting is surprisingly nice for an SEL trim. And then back to the front, you do have a really cool design feature, which is over off to the side. You do have an actual area where air can pass through, which is pretty cool. Now the hood, I love how it has this really aggressive slant downwards. The only thing I don't like about the Hyundai Kona is this big plastic slab that runs all across the wheel arches and the bottom of the car. I like the wheels. The wheels are pretty good for just an SEL trim. So the SEL is just a step above the base SE. And for a basically base model car, these wheels actually do a very good job of looking the part, looking more expensive. Now coming to the rear, that's probably my favorite part about this car. The lines get a lot more aggressive, a lot more angular, and then when you look at it straight from the back, it just has such a high quality look to it. I love the tail lamps, and they have this beautiful kind of darked out, almost tinted look to them. Now at night, they look very, very menacing. I love the tail lamps on here. They're probably my favorite feature about the whole car. Now the key was very impressive. It's very, very heavy. You've got this really smooth kind of plastic material on it, and then of course your metal accents up top and on the bottom. It does have keyless entry, so you push it once to lock the car, and then you push it again, it'll beep twice, and that'll unlock the car. So let's go ahead and check out the interior. Alright, so let's start at the door. So because this is the SEL trim, just one step up from the base, you do have a little bit of hard plastics here, hard plastics really everywhere on the door. All of your mirror and window controls are going to be right here, your door locks, everything like that. The door handle is going to be just plastic right there. Coming down below, you do have a decent amount of storage space, so you have a water bottle holder here, and then you can probably put very narrow, small things right in there. Coming over here, you do have your gas tank release right under there. Manual seat adjustments. Pretty nice cloth. I do like this cool design that runs right through the middle of the seat. It's going to run all up through the top as well. Coming back down here, you have Kona branded floor mats, basic pedals. Let's go ahead and hop in and check out the rest. All right, so shutting the door on the Hyundai Kona. A little chime that comes up, but the door shut is really solid. As a matter of fact, this entire car feels a lot more solid than I thought. Really solid click there. Really impressed with the quality of this car, especially at this price point. I mean, this thing's like around $21,000 and some change, so that's very, very impressive. Another quick look at the interior. All right, starting the car up is super simple. Your start stop is going to be right there. Foot on the brake, and you're going to push that button right there to start. Nice. All right, so starting with the steering wheel. Now the steering wheel in here is very nice. It's very thick, really chunky. It's got some nice grip extensions right up here. Of course, stitching running all along the middle right there. Your Hyundai badge right in the middle. You do have this sort of fake plastic satin coming right here, but it does look very nice. The leather quality is very, very supple, very smooth Over here to the left side of the steering wheel, you do have all of your media controls, so your volume, your previous, next, voice commands, different radio modes, and of course your Bluetooth phone settings. Over here to the right are your cruise control settings, and up here you're going to have a button that if you press that little page, it's going to scroll you through that little menu right there in the middle. It's a very, very small menu, so once you're here, you can scroll through things like your average fuel economy, which I've been averaging 27.7 miles per gallon. I've driven this thing about 312 miles, so not bad at all. Very, very impressed with the gas mileage on this thing. And then of course, if I hit the page button again, things like your tire pressure, driver assistance features, adjust all your sounds, your lights, different things like that. So very, very simple gauge cluster for sure. The gauges themselves are very simple. Over to the left is your tach, over to the right is your speedometer, and that's pretty much it. It lights up blue at night and it looks really, really nice. So once again, very simplistic. Over here to the left, you do have your traction control. You're gonna push that once to turn off traction control, and then you push it and hold it to disable traction and stability control. Blind spot monitors, interior illumination right here. Your vents coming up here, you got more kind of hard plastic, but like I said, once again, that is because this is just a step up from the base model. Now the tablet style screen here, now I'm usually a big fan of these. Now there's nothing really wrong with this one, it just looks very, very plasticky, very, very cheap in my opinion. I usually never say that about these screens. I don't mind the tablet style look at all. As a matter of fact, I think it's kind of cool. But for whatever reason in this one, you just have really big plastic buttons and the whole thing is covered in plastic. There's no like gloss black or anything nice like that. So it does look very on the cheap side. But the response is very, very nice. Sometimes it lags like it just did right there. But for the most part, everything works pretty well. And of course you do have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto in here. I do love the Sirius XM because you can go through and rewind all of your Sirius XM settings, which is really nice. So if you missed a few songs, you can go back and really hunt through there. And coming down, you have your vents, your hazards here, of course, all of your standard HVAC controls. One thing that is nice about having standard controls is they work very fast. So for example, these, you can really hear the clicking and all the things changing in there. Really impressed. Even the dials feel very, very nice. And of course your AC, rear defrost, your USB for your Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, auxiliary port, 12 volts, which is nice. A little bit of storage area here. Got my Planet Fitness membership there. The shifter is very nice. The only thing I don't understand is this kind of solid gloss black thing in the middle. Kind of weird. I wish they would have just put like numbers or something else on there, or just made it all leather. But the shifter itself is very nice. So you have leather, this gloss black, this sort of silver coming right here, leather with stitching right there, and the feel of the shifter is very nice. Slap it to the left to put it into its manual mode. Heated seats for both front passengers. Of course, 3 settings. Your hill descent right here. So downhill brake control basically is what Hyundai calls it, but your hill descent feature right there. Drive mode, so you only have one drive mode, so if you click that, that'll take you to sport and then normal, and that's it. So coming down, you do still have a manual e-brake, so if you'd like to do some e-brake drifts, you can still do that. Cup holders, pretty nice size. I can definitely fit 2 water bottles, everything like that in there. Definitely no problem with the cup holders. The armrest is kind of far back, but it is a pretty decent size. I can rest both my arm and my wife's arm here as well. Lift that up. You do have storage space, but no USB or auxiliary here. So as a matter of fact, the only USB you have is this one here. And I also forgot you have a little bit of storage area right up top in there. Glove box. Coming up, you do have your standard mirror, sunglass holder, and then your vanity mirrors. Card holder right here, and then your light's gonna be right up top, if you guys can see that. But yeah, it's pretty simplistic, so we'll go ahead and hop in the back and check out the rear legroom. All right, you guys, so the back seat of the Hyundai Kona. So first of all, I'm really sorry about the wind noise. It's extremely windy here today in Texas. But the backseat room is pretty good. I have about 2 to 3 inches of headroom. I'm 6 feet tall, and I have about the same as far as legroom goes. So actually a decent amount of legroom back here. You do have an armrest here. Pretty soft padded. Is going to be cloth padding, of course. This entire interior is cloth. Your 2 cup holders here, mat pockets behind each seat, and then you have 2 bottle holders in each door. You also have a little handle here, and it's pretty much going to be it. Let's go ahead and check out the trunk. All right, so coming to the back of the Hyundai Kona, getting into the hatch is very easy. There's a button located right underneath the Hyundai symbol, so you press that. Of course, your hatch is going to open right up. It's going to reveal a really decent amount of storage space. Now, you can fold the rear seats down, so there are buttons on top of each of the seats. You can fold those down, and that's going to give you a really surprising amount of storage space in the back. So much so that I was able to make a quick little Sam's run, and I was able to get everything that was on that cart and stick it into the Hyundai Kona. Now, everything was very, very tight, and though my camera did die right before I was able to show it, I was able to close the hatch with everything in there. It was pretty impressive. Also, underneath the floorboard, you do have a shallow area for shallow storage, and then underneath that, you have your spare tire, all your spare tire equipment. That way you can change your tire and do everything you need to do in that regard. So switching gears, coming underneath the hood of the Hyundai Kona, you're going to have a 2-liter Atkinson cycle 4-cylinder. It's going to make 147 horsepower, 132 pound-feet of torque. Now, those are pretty low numbers for the segment. It's a pretty decent motor, but we'll go ahead and get it out on the road and see how it drives. Behind the wheel of the 2018 Hyundai Kona. This is a pretty nice car. Now, I've been really trying to put myself into a slightly different state of mind, because usually when I get a press car, it's the most loaded up, fully decked out version of that specific car. This is the first time I've gotten something that isn't fully loaded. So this is the SEL version, like I said. It is right above the SE. So basically this isn't base, but this is just a slight step up from the base model. So that's why this one was priced at around $21,000. And for the price, this is a pretty decent little, compact crossover. It is more spacious than, I know for sure, the Mazda CX-3. So you have more space in here compared to a Mazda CX-3. Now, I haven't driven the Honda HR-V, and I haven't driven the Toyota CHR. So I can't really give a great comparison. So that is the only frustrating part about that. But as it sits, this car does have lots of great quality that you feel just instantly. So for example, like I showed you guys earlier, the doors are just so solid. The steering wheel itself, it's got a really nice quality leather. It feels really, really solid. And the other thing that's really surprising is just all the switchgear is actually pretty, just pretty quality feeling. Like the shifter, it's got a nice solid thunk to it. I really, really like the way everything feels. The push button start, it's got a nice click, and the engine starts up immediately, like zero hesitation. It's just, everything responds actually pretty well. And so this is a 2-liter Atkinson cycle 4-cylinder motor. It makes about 147 horsepower, 132 torque. Those aren't impressive numbers, but for what it is, this car actually handles pretty well. So if I put it in a sport mode, I can downshift a few of the gears here, second gear. It handles surprisingly well. Now the gear shifts in this little, so sorry, my voice cracked like extra hard. The gear shifts in this are pretty decent. So if I downshift, third, it does bog down a little bit in the lower gears, but this is just a normal 6-speed automatic transmission, so it's not really tuned to be sporty. Even the downshifts don't blip. The upshifts aren't super quick, but they're decent. Whenever I had showed you guys me filling up the trunk, whenever I drove this thing, I literally had to drive it in like 4th gear third, fourth gear cruising at around 4,500 RPMs the whole time, just to get enough pep to get this thing moving. So it's definitely not a fast car by any means. You really got to rev this motor out to make it even feel mildly quick. That's probably my biggest complaint about this car. Now, I do want to stress that I do know that because this is an entry-level Hyundai Kona, the price range, I'm not expecting it to be a performance car. I'd be a fool if I thought that Hyundai could squeeze any kind of performance into a car of this size at this price. But I do wish that there was just a little bit more power, just a little bit, not a lot. My biggest compliment to this vehicle is that it just feels very quality. Everything about it feels quality. It feels good. It doesn't feel cheap. And that's definitely something you want at this price range. You want something that feels like it's going to be reliable. You want something that doesn't feel like just because you can't afford the top of the line, or just because you don't want to splurge and get the top of the line version, that they're just going to give you a cheap, crappy product. And it doesn't feel that way at all with this vehicle. Everything feels solid, everything feels rigid, and it's good in that aspect. So if you are looking for a compact little SUV or subcompact little SUV, I do think you should put the Hyundai Kona on your list, though the Mazda CX-3 and the other competitors in the segment do offer, I feel like, a little bit more. For sure the Mazda offers a little bit more in terms of convenience features and just that overall high quality and sporty feel. The Honda, of course, is going to offer great ergonomics from what I've read, from what I've heard. It's going to offer that reliability that Honda is known for. And then, of course, the CHR is going to have the same reputation for reliability, even more so probably than Honda. But I haven't driven the Toyota or the Honda, so I can't truly speak towards those vehicles. But I will say the Hyundai Kona is great. I've gotten fantastic gas mileage out of this thing. When I got it on a full tank, it was about 376 miles of range, and I'm on my second to last day. So this is Saturday, and this goes back on Monday. So I have about 74 miles left, and I've been driving this thing like crazy. So I live in Fort Worth, driven it to Dallas, driven it back, driven it all around town, and it performs very, very well. Alright, well, that's going to do it for this review, guys. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to click that like button, give me a thumbs up, comment, let me know what you guys think of the Hyundai Kona. Also, comment below and let me know what other vehicles you guys want to see. That way I can reach out and do my best to try to obtain those vehicles to review for you guys. If you guys want to subscribe to the channel, you can click over to the left. Definitely become part of the family. Also, you guys can follow me on Instagram to keep up to date with what new cars I have every single week. And if you want to see some more of my other reviews, you can click over to the right. But thank you guys for watching, and y'all take care. Bye.